All right. Hello, everyone. I see folks still joining in, so I'll probably give another minute for folks to join, and then I think we can get started. All right. I think we have like 1 minute over, and probably folks will still be joining. Um, so let me just go ahead and get started. So, very quick introduction about myself. My name is Tinu Chandrasekar. I'm head of customer engineering at Google Cloud. I'm based out of Boulder. So today we'll talk about building secure AI workloads on cloud. And like secure, and I kind of stress on the word secure because we'll talk about security a little bit before we jump into building the applications on uh, cloud itself. All right. So here's a quick agenda. So we'll start with the introduction for AI and what is the opportunity that's lying ahead. I know the talk is about future proofing our tech career. So we'll talk about the opportunity, and then we'll talk about secure AI framework, which lays this foundation for security, and then we'll talk about how can we build applications with Vertex AI, and if time permits, I'd like to show a quick demo of how do we build application, and then we'll wrap it up. So the first topic. So I briefly, I know we have a diverse set of participants here, like from tech leaders to aspiring leaders to practitioners. So I'll try to make sure that everyone gets value out of it. So this slide, I wanted to kind of set the importance of significance of AI in the broader context. Right? So we are in the Industrial Revolution 4.0, and if you look at the previous revolutions, steam power in 1700s, so basically led to the introduction of factories. It changed transportation and changed people's lives. And in 1800s, we had electricity, which led the way for mass manufacturing, and at the consumer level, it basically transformed the things that we could do. And in 1900s, we had IT, basically changing how information is created, gathered, stored, transferred. And the internet era and the mobile era, all of it is part of the IT, and we are in this 4.0 where AI truly has the potential to change how humans interact with technology across, very seamlessly across multiple models, right? Like, today we have videos, messages, audio, and text. So how do we? So it basically transforms how we interact with technology, right? So that's the significance there. And working with a lot of executives, the potential of GenAI is huge. And what we have seen in the last couple of years is the executives, the board members, and the CEOs are really interested to know what their particular company is doing to to adopt GenAI. And think of any industry. Like, it could be retail, it could be manufacturing, healthcare. If you are adopting GenAI in a safe and secure way, that gives you a huge competitive advantage. So you're not left behind, and you have significant advantage over your competition. So that's one of the reasons why executives are very, very interested. And we are seeing parallels in cloud adoption in 2000s to AI adoption now, right? So the common themes that we are seeing is there are some valid concerns that were raised, like, how secure is my data? What kind of control do I have when I move to cloud, or when I build models? What are the compliance factors that I have to consider, and the vulnerabilities that brings along? The good news is that the history has shown that the companies that have adopted cloud initially, mitigating risk, has seen the benefits, and we believe that AI will follow a similar curve, where the companies that can mitigate the risk and adopt AI will have a competitive advantage over their over their entire industry. All right, so We talked about how important GenAI is for companies, and we are seeing that the adoption is supporting it, right? So we are seeing companies rapidly adopting GenAI as their main business tool. And since we are talking about future proofing our tech career, so Gartner is predicting that 80% of the businesses would have a Gen AI use case in the next 2 years. And this number was 5% in 2023. So you can see in 3 years, the numbers are going from 5% to 80%. That provides a huge opportunity for any of us in the tech field to provide meaningful value there. And this is because of the value that Gen AI brings along. So it can create new revenue streams. It can decrease the bottom line, and again, you can see that there is estimated $443 billion AI service spend that is forecasted by 2027. So think about the opportunity that lies ahead in terms of what meaningful business value that we can bring along and how companies are investing in it. And we are also seeing that working with multiple CISOs and CIOs, security is the number one concern when companies are thinking about adopting AI, right? So, and we are also seeing a monumental shift where the role of the tech leaders are also changing to adopt to AI. So the role of CISO is kind of getting towards more like a chief digital risk officer, where the role is more to balance risk and also innovate, also enable the companies to innovate. So you see the dynamics that is changing there. All right, so we have we have kind of talked about the value that GenAI brings to the table and the concerns that top of mind for the tech executives. Now we'll talk about how if you're a tech executive, if you're a tech leader, how can you get started with AI or GenAI particularly in a safe and secure way. So that's where a common framework comes into picture, right? So the reason it is important is if you have, like, let's say, think about 1,000 companies trying to come up with things that could go wrong, list of things that they need to be aware of as they are getting into they're getting into the AI innovation. So that could be huge, right? So the framework can enable a company to start from, let's say, 30% instead of starting from zero, because it provides a foundation layer that the companies can reference to use it as a conceptual model as they're getting in and as they're adopting AI, right? And just talking to CISOs, just talking to executives. So these are the common things that are top of mind for most of the executives, right? So security is one. This is a traditional security items like who gets access to AI, what kind of access people get, like it's IAM and the authentication, and how is my network is going to control it, what kind of threat mechanism I have, and an incident response mechanism that I have. So that's one, and that follows the traditional security. And the one that is kind of interesting is the AI/ML model risk. So when a model is out there, the model itself can be attacked, right? So and this is a huge topic by itself. I need a separate session to cover that. But at high level, there could be techniques like prompt injection, data poisoning, or like model theft that can happen. And how is an organization protecting the model against all of these threats? Privacy and compliance is definitely big in most of executives' mind. With the changing landscape, with the changing compliance mechanisms, it's better to have it's better to think about all of that as you're getting into an innovation mindset. And the last one here is the people and the organization. So to me, it's one of the biggest factors for a company to be successful in their AI adoption. We talk about people, process, technology, and enabling the people to have a shared responsibility, giving them an understanding of what is needed from them, and having that cultural shift, plays a big role in getting in being successful in AI adoption. All right, so that brings us to the SAFE framework, so Secure AI framework. So Google recently, so earlier this year, Google announced our Secure AI framework and made it available for everyone. Um, and 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 what is SAFE, right? So if if you guys are aware of SRE, like the site reliability engineering, so that is a practice that Google had in house for a long time, and to build very resilient applications, and we shared that knowledge with the broader community. And now you see most of the companies have an SRE practice within their technical teams. So similarly, SAFE is conceptual framework for secure AI applications. So it takes security into picture and applies it for the software supply chain management, including testing, reviewing, and controlling the entire end-to-end life cycle of the softwares. Have appendix kind of which will go much detail into it, but I'll try to cover it at a high level. So it starts with understanding the use case. So as with any models, right, it's better to start with the use case and work backwards from there. So for example, if you have like a customer service agent, what data you need, like for example, you need the customer data, you need the sales data, and what kind of compliance and privacy requirements are needed for those specific data, and you start working backwards from there and implement it, right? And assembling the team. So typically, it's the business and tech working together, bringing some products into picture. But for AI, it's important to have the broader teams also included. You need to have the privacy team. It's better to have the legal teams. It's better to have the responsible AI analytics team involved as you're building the models, and level setting the AI primer. So I talked about the people in the previous slide. It is important for not just the technical folks to have an understanding of AI, but also the business folks that are going to be involved in the team to have a basic understanding of what AI is, what is their role in securing AI, and how can and bringing them earlier into the process. So that will help adoption of AI much faster. And there are 6 core elements. These are mostly on the technical side. Um, and these are the 6 core elements, and I have the detailed document in for your reference as well. But at a high level, it talks about the first three talks about kind of reviewing your existing security policies, your security threat detection, your security vulnerability detection, and your response items, and figuring out what is applicable for AI, and finding what is the delta that needs to be added to it, and it has a detailed process of how you actually get those delta added to your AI setup. And the last two kind of talks about if you have heard about the term red teaming. So it's kind of having ethical hackers do some vulnerability testing on your models and finding ways to improve the security posture, and also having a feedback loop, right? So because Gen AI or AI is kind of evolving phase, and how you use AI to detect threats to AI and automate the process, and have a constant feedback loop so that there is a constant improvement in your security posture. And the last one talks about contextualized AI systems, right? So it talks about uh, having a model registry. So if you have, like, let's say 100 models, having an inventory of what each model does, what is the risk profile, what is the business value, and constantly updating it and establishing a shared responsibility model amongst your technical cadres, so that um, so that everyone is in the board when it comes to securing the AI. So given that, you may ask, hey, how do I get started with this tool, right? So safe tool is available. Like, for example, if you have a AI model that you want to so it's that you want to see uh, how safe it is. So this is a publicly available tool. It asks a set of questions, and it provides a very detailed report on what are the things that you need to focus on. So I'll add it in the appendix as well. Okay, so now that we have established how do we secure an AI system, let's see how do we build once we establish that secure system, right? So Vertex AI application, Vertex AI, if you're not familiar with it, it's Google's centralized AI platform for anything related to AI, right? So this is where you can use an existing model from, let's say, Gemini or Anthropic or any of our partner ecosystem. This is also where an AI developer would be and jumping into notebooks, training their models, fine tuning, evaluating. It's a nicely integrated, coherent system with an enterprise grade security. Today we will talk about an agent builder, which is an out-of-the-box, conversation AI agent that we can quickly build and bring value, and show value. So, but at a high level, it's just a couple of steps that you need. Provide the documents that you need, and you can start asking questions based out of that. And okay, so given we are running out of time, so I have yeah, so you know, and I'd like to wrap it up with this information. So to connect, and these are the tools, safe assessment tool, definitely take a look at it, and also take a look at how you can implement safe technologies. Okay, any questions? I can actually look at the chat and all right. So it looks like there's no questions. So again, yeah. So there's a question is justified. These real business values. So I work with business leaders all across different industries, and we already see tremendous business value coming out of it. So I do understand there's a lot of hype associated with it, but then there is long value that is coming out of it. Awesome. I think we are at time. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining.